Hi, welcome to Local Flavor. I'm Deborah Anderson and we're back in Moreland at Aunt Faye's Community Kitchen, and today I'm making my favorite new masterpiece, which is Asian lettuce wraps, and you will love them, and they're so easy. You just have to have a few ingredients you might have to go to the store for. And that doesn't take very long, so I have time and I had enough ingredients that I'm just gonna throw together a really quick depression or wacky cake is what they call it. And I think the story goes that in the Great Depression, when people didn't have a lot of eggs and things like that, things that were expensive, this was a really cheap way to make a cake, and it didn't take a lot of those iffy ingredients that were hard to store. So what I put in there is 2 cups of flour and 2 cups of sugar. And this is just 6 tablespoons of cocoa. Cocoa is pretty expensive nowadays, but 6 tablespoons is manageable. That's between a quarter and a half a cup, because there's 4 tablespoons in a quarter cup. So I'm gonna mix this really, really well. Oh, also what's wacky great about this cake is that you don't have to get a mixer out. You do it all inside the pan. I should have pointed that out. You probably thought I was crazy doing this, but this is how this cake was designed to be made. And I will note that you should not use an aluminum pan. You could use a clear Pyrex, or I'm using my stoneware, but you don't want to use an aluminum because it has vinegar in it, and you never know how it's going to react with that kind of ingredient. So my Hershey's cocoa is not crumbling how I want it to. Okay, I'm going to make little wells, and I'll put the the wet ingredients in the little holes. And my wet ingredients are 2 cups of water. Oh, it's not warm enough. Let me get it warm again. I'll do the others first. I don't feel it's warm enough. 2/3 of a cup of oil. I really love these measuring cups where you can see from the top, so you know it's level on the table. 2/3 of a cup of oil. I need 2 tablespoons of vinegar. How much? 2 tablespoons of vanilla. Now for the frosting, I will have to get out a mixer, and it does take some dairy products, so it's kind of cheating, but it is the one that goes with this cake. But we will worry about that later. Okay, 2 cups of water. Did I get everything? Oh, I did not. I should have put this in with the dry. I don't know if this is gonna ruin it. It's hard telling. I have baking soda and salt in here. I'm a nervous wreck about this. Ooh, look at the fizz. There it goes with the vinegar. Can you see that? Hopefully it will mix in evenly. Maybe if I would have had that salt in there to break up my cocoa pieces, it would have been better. Let me make sure I got everything else. Cocoa, baking soda, salt, warm water, oil, vinegar, vanilla. That's all of it. I just need to stir this up a little bit, and I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. And as soon as I get most of the lumps out of this, I'll stick it in, and it's gonna cook about 30 minutes. And it makes a super, super moist cake. So this is the kind of cake that you don't want to make layers with. It is intended for a 9x13 pan because it's so moist, it wouldn't hold up well to layers. But if you insist on making a layer cake, you could add another cup of flour, and that would make it probably work for that. Oh, the corners were hiding a bunch of dry ingredients. Not nice. I actually think I'm gonna. I don't like that. I did not like that getting stuck in there, so I'm gonna use mine. I'm used to this one. This is the one I usually use for gravy. It's a lot quieter too. I'm so sorry that I started with that loud one. Ooh, that looks delicious. Such an easy, easy, easy cake. No eggs. Also, I'm always forgetting eggs. So I've got the oven started. I'll go ahead and stick this in the oven, and why don't you meet me back when it's ready to have some frosting.
When a storm leaves your home battered and damaged, there's only one thing you can do. Forget all about it. The men in black at AquaShield Roofing and Construction have the skills and knowledge to fix your home so you'll forget the damage ever happened. Along with roofs, they do siding, guttering, insulation, windows, doors, and more. With offices in Hugoton, Oberlin, and Liberal, they're never too far away when damage strikes. When you need to forget about home damage, call the men in black at AquaShield Roofing and Construction.
Hey Nex-Tech customers, would you like a chance to win cash prizes and free service? Well, here's your chance to win up to $200. On the first and third Sunday of every month, tune in to Nex-Tech Local 1 at 6 p.m. and play along with Nex-Tech Sunday Funday Bingo. If you miss an episode, don't worry about it. It'll replay every night at 6 p.m. Use your cards included with your Nex-Tech statement or print your own at nextech.com/bingo. Nex-Tech Sunday Funday Bingo is brought to you by these sponsors.
So our cake is all done cooking, and we have it cooling in the back, and I'm going to go ahead and start making the frosting. And it's almost exactly like the red velvet frosting that if you watch the episode that Corinne did with us, it's almost the same frosting. And I have put in a cup of milk, and this is, I think, 4 tablespoons of flour. I will double check that. And before I turn on the heat, I want to get this mixed together because I feel like it gets lumpy if you try to do it while the milk is hot. Ooh, look at that frothiness. My favorite whisk. There you go. Now I'm going to cook this until it's thickened, and in the meanwhile I'm going to go ahead and let the rest of the frosting start. I'm going to put 2 sticks of butter in here, and it's a cup of sugar. I had to look. And yes, that is 4 tablespoons of flour that I put in. So we'll let that get good and mixed, and then when this is thickened up here, I will mix it in with this. So I've had that butter softening for a long time, probably longer than I needed to. It also needs 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and I can put that in now. Sorry for the noise. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. This is simple frosting, quick, easy to make. Then I'll frost our cake, and it can sit there and wait for us while we make the main attraction, which is our lettuce wraps, which I've been looking forward to for days. Come on, thicken. That's probably, oh no. A piece of the butter got stuck into the beater, so I had to do it fast enough to throw it out. This is like paper mache, kind of, but we're gonna make it into delicious frosting. And I like to use this one sometimes because you have most of these things on hand. Powdered sugar, sometimes you have run out of, and so this is one of the few frostings I've ever seen that doesn't have powdered sugar. Oh, and someday I want to do the one my grandma always used to make, a cooked brown sugar frosting, and hers had lumps in it that I really loved. I don't think all of them do, but it made a really crusty layer on top of my chocolate cake, and someday I'll try that here on the show. But for now, I was just trying to think of ones that don't have powdered sugar. I think just about everyone's made a fruit pizza, but I did find another recipe for one last week where you put a lot of whipped topping in the spread and it made it so fluffy and nice. Oh, this is thickening quickly. And this one was also a little different because then after you put on your fruit, you had a glaze made out of orange juice and sugar. And it was so good. And I used the same recipe that we did last year on Local Flavor for the sugar cookies with the sour cream frosting. I just didn't make the frosting. Oh, that is thick and beautiful. It's so smooth. I have never gotten it this smooth before. I really think I'm super excited about it. Now I'm gonna mix it into our butter mix. Oh, I'm so happy you turned out perfect. Wow, what a day. Probably hot. Might have wished we made it cool a little bit. Oh, it really looks perfect. I mean, I hate to brag, but it's not my fault. It's probably the stove. If I can blame the oven when things don't turn out right, I'll blame the stove when it turns out good. So, there we have that. I'll incorporate this in pretty quickly. I'm gonna go slow at first so I don't splash it everywhere. Then once it gets more mixed in, you can turn it up. And I will scrape the sides a couple times. Look at that, it's perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up and I'll go spread it on our cake, and when we come back, get ready for lettuce wraps, and we will taste this afterwards. I don't think I even want this cake after we get our lettuce wraps done, but I will taste it and see how it turned out. Okay, meet me back for lettuce wraps.
The easiest way for you to get anywhere in the country is the Hayes Regional Airport. Twice daily flights between Hayes and Denver means you are only 45 minutes from over 100 direct flights to get you to your destination as quick as possible. Service from SkyWest has completely changed the flight experience out of Hayes thanks to the 50-passenger jets that include complimentary beverages and an in-flight restroom. With free parking and short security lines, there has never been a better time to use the Hayes Regional Airport. The next time you travel, check Hayes first at flyhays.com to see the time and money you could save.
The plumber said there's something wrong with my water. It looks like you have hard water. You need a water softener. Let me show you the options we have. Hey, do you guys deliver salt? We sure do. What about drinking water? We have water coolers and drinking water systems. We even have bottled water.
Find us on Facebook and itsbetterwater.com. And remember,
It's not just water, it's better water!
Welcome back. I'm ready to start on the Asian lettuce wraps, my very favorite. I've got 3 tablespoons of canola oil getting hot in my skillet, and I'm gonna do 2 cups of chicken, and I've diced it pretty small. So some people use ground chicken. It's not ready yet. Sorry, little chickies. While that's getting warmed up, I'm gonna do some things I'll have to have done later, which is chop these peanuts. Peanuts? This is to put on the top when we're all done. If you've ever been to P.F. Chang's, this is a big appetizer at P.F. Chang's. Now, there's some optional ingredients that I put on the recipe. When we make it at home, I like it savory. Doyle likes it a little bit more Thai, sweet. So I usually make it all, and then at the very end, I cut it in half and put half as much of those optional ingredients in for him, because he likes it a little bit sweeter. So, are you getting hotter? I'm going to cut up some water chestnuts too to put in while that's going. We usually do this with 2 people, Doyle and I together, so we'll see how it goes with just me. I want the water chestnuts cut up at least as small, if not smaller, than the chicken. So I usually make I do 2 cuts one way and then 2 cuts the other way. It makes about 9 pieces, give or take. And you could put in a whole can. I'm only putting in about a half a can. They are easy, easy, easy to cut. And another thing I've got here is 1 small red bell pepper that I've cut up really tiny, and half of a bunch of green onions, which turned out to be only 3, but they're 3 fairly big ones. So there's that. And then I have 1 onion cut up, really small, because we're making a little hash. I would say, I'd compare it to hash. We're making a little hash that will go inside of a piece of lettuce, and we'll roll it up like a burrito and be happy, happy, happy. Now, I'm not seasoning this chicken at all yet because we put a lot of seasoning on it later. You keep working. And I'll get these water chestnuts. Ooh, that's a big one. I like water chestnuts. I like the crunch it gives you. They don't get soft. I mean, they're easy to cut, but they don't get, at the same time, they don't turn mushy. I don't think they really taste like anything. I don't know if I'm going to be brave and taste it. It tastes like nothing. I would never eat them straight out of the can. This is about a half a can, but all this stuff, it's kind of to your taste. You could put in a whole bunch of onions. I figure it's already got a regular onion. I didn't need a whole bunch of green onions, but. And I'll put in the regular onions first because they'll take a lot longer to get cooked. And this needs to be, it doesn't take too long to cook them because they're so tiny. And I'm going to measure out some stuff while it finishes. And then when this is all cooked, I'm going to put it on a plate to rest while we finish the veggies and the sauce. Now I got water chestnut in my mouth. Okay, I'm going to start with some ginger root, and I'll put it in just with the peppers and the onions. I've got them in the same bowl. It's kind of running out of prep bowls, if you must know. What I need of this is, I think, 2 teaspoons. So as you know, with me and ginger root, I don't actually want to bite into it, so I'm using the microplane to get it super tiny. It's mush. Hey, you can also buy this stuff. I don't know if I've told you this before, but you can buy it in larger grocery stores in the vegetable section. It's in a little, kind of like a toothpaste, except with a big cap. That kind of container. And it's like mashed up ginger root. So that's easier than this. And you don't risk slicing up your fingernails. I'm a little nervous. There it went. Okay. Oh, it smells so good though. Lemony, it smells like lemon pledge, really, if you like that smell, except for like food. This is almost done. Then we'll switch it out for the onions. Go, 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 go. I'm going to use this little scoopy thing. I'll give it just a few more minutes. That's 3 tablespoons of canola oil in there with that. I'm going to have 2 garlic cloves. I need to measure out some Rice wine vinegar, let's do that one first. 2 tablespoons of it. Oh, this was just rice vinegar. Mine is really dark, it's not right. But it's fine. I think we should have kept it someplace darker. Okay. You wait here, little chickies. And I'll make you delicious in just a few seconds. Probably minutes. How many minutes did this take anyway? Okay, let's hurry with this. We'll let those go till they're about translucent, and then we'll start pouring the other stuff in. I can go ahead and do the garlic into it also. I don't think it hurts it to get nice and cooked. It takes a little of the heat off of it. Wow, that tiny garlic clove produced a lot of mass. A lot of mush. Oh, this really is hot. It's burning my wrist. Okay, you guys keep going. And how much of this? I need 1.5 teaspoons of sesame oil. So I'm gonna put it in with my rice vinegar after I measure it. This is a 1/2 teaspoon, so I'll do this 3 times. I hope I don't lose track of which ones I put in. It happens. You'll have to help me. And for soy sauce, we need 1 tablespoon. I don't know if it's going to fit in this. We'll see. That's probably the last that will fit in there. That's done, and I need 3 tablespoons of hoisin sauce. I think I'll just dip those out when I need them. And then I think a teaspoon of the Thai chili sauce. Oh, don't let me tip that over. That is going to be a mess. Okay, are all you water chestnuts cut up small enough? Okay, let's put in the rest of these veggies. And I'm just going to let those go for about a minute until the green onions start to wilt a little bit. Oh, those red peppers look so pretty. That really looks pretty. Now you get that fragrance with that ginger root. That is out of sight, man. And here goes the water. That's a lot of water chestnuts. I think I put in too many. Okay, I'm going to start with the hoisin so I don't forget it. 3 tablespoons of this, and it is what makes it super delicious. You can make it yourself, but it takes a lot of ingredients that were hard to find, and I could find this, so that's what we get. Now the other things that I have on here, the peanuts and the cilantro, those are actually for the topping. You should smell it. It smells like P.F. Chang's. Does anybody know how to make firecracker shrimp? I'd like to learn to make that. You could train me. Okay, I'm going to add my chicken back in. And while that cooks down, I'm gonna read my recipe just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Canola oil, chicken, onion, garlic, green onion, chestnuts, ginger root, soy sauce, rice vinegar, sesame oil, chili sauce. That's it. Now at this point, if you want to add the optional ingredients, there's a couple tablespoons of peanut butter. Like I said, when I do it, I just cut it in half, put mine on a different plate, and then I just add 1 tablespoon of peanut butter and 1.5 teaspoons of brown sugar, or if you're doing the whole thing, 1 tablespoon. And 2 tablespoons of lime juice, or for us, 1. And that makes it kind of sweet and Thai flavory. This looks awesome. Okay, I'm gonna clean up this mess and let this cool a little bit, then we'll top it and give it a taste. Meet me back here later. This looks good. If you could, what would you have in your kitchen? The quietest dishwasher? Sure. A big 28 cubic foot refrigerator? Oh yeah. A true convection wall oven? Check. You'll find Frigidaire professional kitchen appliances at Genuine Appliance in Hayes. They have all that, plus real stainless steel for fewer fingerprints and smudges. Frigidaire at Genuine Appliance at 1224 East 27th in Hayes. Your dream kitchen doesn't have to be a dream anymore.
Hi?
We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a trusted choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Let us shop for you. Contact Rogers & Associate to learn more.
So this is our cooled off, not cold, just cooled enough to put on a bed of lettuce, which is just for looks, and we'll probably regret it when we get to the bottom. I'm piling on about 1/3 of a cup of chopped peanuts, and then sprinkling, this really is the kicker, sprinkling a lot of cilantro, 1/4 to 1/2 cup of cilantro. And then you just take a little piece of lettuce, and don't get too much stuff. That's what Doyle and I did wrong the first time, is we tried to fit too much in one, and then it's just a big mess. But I want to make sure to get some cilantro in it and go from the bottom. So I'd say a couple of tablespoons, depending on the size of your lettuce, and I'd really rather try Bibb lettuce, but I couldn't find it around here. So iceberg's what you get. It's as good as I thought it would be. It is a great, rich Asian flavor inside that crispy lettuce. I just crave it all the time. I think it's all over my lips. You'll want to make it all the time. Now we gotta taste the cake too. This cake is a very moist cake. It's a big mess, but it's really, really delicious. Of course, I kind of don't want to lose my Asian taste. I'm going back to my lettuce wrap when I'm done. It really is the most pleasant cake for being such a messy looking cake. It really is quite delightful and so easy. One pan, gotta try it. So, Asian lettuce wraps and depression cake is what we made today. If you, honestly, if you buy these ingredients and start making them, you'll probably have them every Friday. So, we'll see you next time on Local Flavor.